These are the Smith & Wesson H.R.T. daggers. I was going to do a video on each of them separately, but they're almost identical, so we'll just do one video showing both. This is the Smith & Wesson H.R.T. 9B. It's the double-edged dagger. And this is the Smith & Wesson SW H.R.T. 9BF. The single-edged, it has a false edge on one side. If you look at the Smith & Wesson website, they'll look identical because they use one picture for both. They use the double-edged picture for the single edge. They are almost identical. The blade shapes are just slightly different. It's a little flatter on the single edge than on the dual edge. They are 9" in total length. The blade length is 4.75 inches, and the weight is 4 ounces. The blade is full tang, and it has an overmolded grip. It's thermoplastic elastomer. The blade steel is 7CR17 MOV, and it has a black finish. They both say Smith & Wesson H.R.T. The dual-edged has the Smith & Wesson logo. The single doesn't. And on the opposite side, they have the model number. There's a fuller or blood groove, as Smith & Wesson calls it on their website. They say Smith & Wesson H.R.T. full tang fixed blade knife is made out of black high carbon stainless steel false edge spear point, and I believe for this one it just says spear point, with blood grooves. It's TPE rubber wrapped handle, comes with a lanyard hole, and black leather belt / boot sheath. There is a little bit of difference between the two. I don't know if that's just they were made at different times, or if the models use slightly different. There's a little more shine to the single edge, the sheath that came with the single edge, than with the double edge. And this button here is shinier than a kind of the dull finish on this button. They both have a spring steel clip, and the edges on these are a little sharp, so they could cut into your pants if you wear it on your belt. I've had that happen with other clips of this style. And the clips both say Smith & Wesson with the logo. The single-edged, it's not super sharp. It is fairly pointy. But as a dagger is kind of more for poking, I think it would do a good job of poking. The double-edged is a little sharper and is also very pointy. This would do a very nice job of poking. When I bought the single-edged, I didn't realize there was a dual-edged. I bought it off Amazon. And once I realized there was a dual-edged version, I bought that. They aren't anything really fancy, and one of the things I kind of don't like is, let me do it this way, when it's in the sheath, the retaining strap is just tight enough and the material is just soft enough that you can see where the strap and the buttons are contacting the rubber grip. Here, you can kind of see it on the other side. Nothing major. It hasn't really damaged it. It's just kind of dented in. So it's just more of an annoyance. The grip is a little bit thin for my hands, but the overall slender profile is kind of what daggers are known for. You're not doing a lot of slashing and chopping. more just poking. And they're fairly inexpensive. I don't recall the price offhand, but right now they're cheaper on Amazon than they are on the Smith & Wesson website. But that is the Smith & Wesson H.R.T. dual-edged and single-edged daggers.